Hey friends, welcome back. So today we will be doing the 6 markers of the retirement chapter. 6 markers, we have 3 divisions, that is the calculation of gain ratio, calculation of NPSR when old ratio and gain ratio is given, and calculation of NPSR when old ratio and gain share is given. If in the question it is ratio followed by the fraction or the share, then it is always the second case of NPSR where you need to just calculate it directly, where new share is equal to old share plus share gain. But then suppose in the first case of NPSR, both of them are in fractions, so you need to always make sure that you find out the difference. You are able to identify the difference between the first case and the second case of NPSR. Okay, so let's just start off with the gain ratio problems. This is the question. Ankit, Suchita, and Chandru are partners in a firm sharing profits and loss in the ratio 4:3:2. Ankit retires from the firm. Suchita and Chandru agree to share the ratio in 5:3 in future. Calculate gain ratio of Suchit and Chandru. So let's just calculate it. So in the question, the old ratio is 4:3:2. And the new ratio is 5:3. Okay, so next you write share gained. Okay, before this you need to actually write the formula of gain ratio. Okay, gain ratio is equal to new ratio minus the old ratio. New ratio minus the old ratio. Okay, so share gained is equal to share gained by Suchit. Okay, so this is Ankit, Suchit and Chandru. So Ankit retires, so Suchit and Chandru. Okay, so Suchit, it's okay, new ratio is 5:3, so 5/8. 5 plus 3 is 8 minus 3. Suchit, the ratio is 3, the total is 9. 5/8 minus 3/9. Okay, so you just cross multiply. 45 minus 24 divided by 9 into 8 is 72, so you get 21/72. Okay, next, share gained by Chandru. Okay, so new ratio Chandru is 3/8 minus 2/9. Okay, cross multiply. 9 3s are 27, 8 2s are 16, 9 8s are 72, 27 minus 16 is 11. Okay, next, the final step is gain ratio of Suchit and Chandru is 21:11. So you do this stepwise, you get your entire 6 marks. So this is the next question. When the old ratio and the gain ratio is given, Lata, Abhishek and Apeksha are partners sharing profits and loss in the ratio 3/8, 1/2 and 1/8. Lata retires and surrenders 2/3 of her share in favor of Abhishek and the remaining share in favor of Apeksha. Calculate the new profit sharing ratio. Okay, so the old ratio is 3/8, 1/2 and 1/8. Lata's share is 3/8. So share gained is equal to retiring partner's share into gain ratio. Next you write share gained by Abhishek. Abhishek. Okay, so that's retiring partner share. So Lata is retiring and her share is 3/8. Gain ratio is so Lata retires and surrenders 2/3 of her share in favor of Abhishek. So it's going to be 3/8 into 2/3. Okay, you can directly multiply 6 by 24. 8 3s are 24, 3 2s are 6. Next is share gained by Apeksha, 3 by 8 into 1 by 3. Okay, 3 by 24. Next, you need to calculate new ratio is equal to old share plus share gained. Okay, so the new share of Abhishek is 1 by 2. Okay, 1 by 2 plus, we just calculated the share gained, 6 by 24. Okay, so you get cross multiply 12 plus 6 by 24, so that's going to be 18 by 24. Okay, this is the new share of Apeksha. Okay, 1 by 8 plus 3 by 24, so it's going to be 6 by 24. So the new ratio of, oh my god, this Abhishek and Apeksha is 18:6. Okay, so this is how you do when the old ratio and the gain ratio is given in the question. In this question, they have given A, B, and C are partners, sharing profits and loss in the ratio 4:3:2. B retires from the business. His share gained by A and C is 2 by 9 and 1 by 9. Calculate the new profit sharing ratio of A and C. So first you write new share is equal to old share plus share gained. Okay, so new share of A is equal to old share is 4:3:2, as you can see. So 4 by 9 plus share gained by A is 2 by 9, which is given in the question. Okay, so it's going to be 6 by 9. Next is the new share of C, which is 2 by 9 plus 1 by 9, which is given in the question. So 3 by 9. Next, NPSR of A and C is 6:3. Okay, you can even reduce it, so it's going to be 2:1. 3 1s are 3 and 3 2s are 6, so 2:1. So we are done with the 6 markers of this chapter. We will also do the dissolution questions. So next is the 12 marker question from the dissolution chapter. So this is the question. Kavya, Kavita and Karishma partner sharing profits and loss in the ratio 3:2:1. They agreed to dissolve the firm on 31/3/2014, on which day their balance sheet was as follows. So liabilities, assets, and the amounts are given. Next is the adjustment entries. Assets realized as follows: stock, debtors, machinery, bills receivable, furniture taken over by Kavya. Kavita took over investments. Karishma took over the motor car. Creditors and bills payable paid off at 10% less each. Realization expenses is 8,000. We need to prepare a realization account, partners capital account, and a bank account. So this is a short question for the 12 markers. So first you need to prepare the realization account. So whenever you prepare the realization account, you need to always omit the partner's loan, reserves, capitals. Always make sure that you omit the partner's loan, the reserves, capitals, cash at bank, and the P&L account. Excluding all this, you can write down all of the entries. So here, whatever is there on the debit side goes to your credit, and whatever is there on your credit goes to your debit. You need to alternate the entries. Okay, so you omit cash at bank. You don't write cash at bank. You don't do the P&L. Kavya's loan is omitted. Reserve fund is omitted. Capitals are omitted. So you write all these. You write bills receivable, stock, debtors, motor car, investments, furniture and machinery on your debit, creditors and bills payable on your credit. Okay, so let's just write that down. Okay, so first by creditors. So this is the format: particulars amount, particulars amount. Make sure that you write the rupees symbol. Okay, by creditors is 60,000. Okay, by bills payable is 18,000. Okay, so we are done with bills receivable and we are done with creditors. Okay, we have taken this to the credit. Now you take all these to the debit. Okay, by bills receivable 24,000. Okay, not by, I'm really sorry, it's 2. Okay, 2 bills receivable, 2 stock is 40,000, 2 debtors 80,000, 2 motor car is 20,000, 2 investments 30,000, 2 furniture 26,000, 2 machinery is 60,000. Okay, so we're done recording everything. We recorded stock, debtors, motor car, investments, furniture and machinery. Okay, next you go on to the adjustment entries. Assets realized as follows: stock, debtors, machinery and all of it. Okay, so you write all of this on your credit side as bank. Okay, by bank account, and then you write assets realized, stock, debtors, machinery, bills receivable. So all this, when we recorded first, like directly from the balance sheet, everything was on your debit, and in the adjustment entries you need to always alternate the entry so it comes on your credit. We write down the amounts: 44,000, 80,000, 66,000, 20,000, and the total of all this is 2,10,000. Next, in the adjustment entries, they've given us furniture is taken over by Kavya, Kavita took over investments, Karishma took over motor car and all of that. So all this comes on your credit side. So you write by Kavya's, you take down as capital account. By Kavya's capital account 30,000, and the bracket you can write furniture taken over. Okay, next by Karishma's capital, you write motor car taken, so that's 14,800. The last one by Kavita's capital. Okay, so this is 40,000. Here it is investments taken over. Okay, so the next one is creditors and bills payable are paid off at rupees at 10% each. So here it was on the debit side first. So in the first step, you wrote it on your credit. So on the second step, you take it back to your debit because you need to alternate the entries. So here on your debit side, you write to bank account. Okay, so you need to add the creditors and the bills payable and minus 10%. So 60,000 plus 18,000 minus 10%. Okay, because they have given creditors as 60, bills payable as 18, so 60 plus 18 minus 10%. Okay, so you do that on the calci. 60,000 plus 18,000 minus 10%, so that's 70,200. Okay, 70,200. Next you write the realization expenses to bank account 8,000. Okay, realization expenses, and you're done. You've recorded all the entries. So technically the first step, you alternate the entries, you omit the partners loan, reserve fund, PNL, what else, the capitals and all of that, cash at bank and everything, you omit all of that. And the second step, you consider the adjustments, you alternate the entries. Okay, you've alternated. And the last step, you need to see which side is more, and then you do it to profit transfer or to loss transfer. Okay, so here if you see here, you can understand that your credit side is more. Okay, so you add up everything, so that's 60,000 plus 18,000 plus 2,10,000 plus 30,000 plus 14,800 plus 40,000. So you get a total of 3,72,800. So you subtract all these entries, all those values. 24,000 minus 40,000 minus 80,000 minus 20,000 minus 30,000 minus 26,000 minus 60,000 minus 70,200 minus 8,000. Okay, so you get 14,600. Okay, so here it's a profit, so you write it on your debit side to profit transferred. Okay, so Kavita and Karishma. Okay, so their ratio is 3:2:1. So it's 18,600 into 3 by 6, 18,600 into 2 by 6, 18,600 into 1 by 6. So here you get 7,300. 4,867 and 2,433. Total is 14,600. It's not 18, it's 14. Okay, it's 14. Okay, it was a mistake, I'm really sorry. It's 14,600. So you get a total of 3,72,800 on both the sides. Okay, so this is your realization account. Your realization account is pretty long, but your partner's capital and your bank account is pretty small. So next is your partner's capital account. Partner's capital account, the first thing that comes is your buy balance brought down. Okay, so that's already given in the question. That's 90, 60 and 30. Okay, 90, 60 and 30. Next is by reserve. They have already given the reserve, so you just divide it equally. The reserve is, let's see, 36,000 in the ratio of 3:2:1. So you get 18,000, 12,000 and 6,000. So if you want, in the brackets you can write 36,000, 3:2:1. Okay, so you've written 18,000, 12,000, 6,000. Next you write the by realization account, because you've got a profit. Okay, so you've got 7,300, 4,867 and 2,433. So that's all in your partner's capital account on your credit side. And on your debit side you write to P&L account. Okay, you need to again divide it in the ratio 3:2:1. So you get 12,000, 8,000 and 4,000. Next you write to realization account. You write the assets taken over, because in your realization account all your assets taken over was taken on your credit side. So now it comes onto your debit. Okay, so you write the assets, furniture and the investments taken over. So that's 30,000, 40,000 and 14,800. Okay, that's it. So you need to always remember that in your partner's capital account, in the credit side, it's always going to be by balance brought down first, by reserve, by realization account, and to P&L. It always depends, because in the question over here P&L is given on your credit side, so in your partner's capital it goes on to your debit. So you need to always make sure that you alternate the entries. Okay, so let's just find out the balancing figure. Okay, so at the end you write to bank account. So you write the balance, you write the totals first. Okay, you write the totals. So here it's 1,15,300, 76,867 and 38,433. Okay, write the same here as well. 1,15,300, 76,867, 38,433. Okay, a doubt on how to calculate the balancing figure, I'll just show you one of Kavya. So you just add all these. Okay, you add 90,000, 18,000 and 7,300 on the calci. 90,000 plus 18,000 plus 7,300 equals, and then you subtract these two values on your debit side. Okay, minus 12,000 minus 30,000. So you get 73,300. So that's your balancing figure. Here it's 28,867. Here it's 19,633. So that's your partner's capital account. Last but not the least is your bank account. Okay, so on your credit side you have your loan, your payment of liabilities, all your expenses, and these capital accounts, that is these balancing figures. Okay, you write all your balancing figures. And on your debit side you all have your the cash at bank or cash in hand and your assets realized amount. You take those in your debit side. So if it's cash in hand you need to make cash account, and if it's cash in bank you make a bank account for the last one. Mostly they specified in the question. If they don't specify, you need to identify if you need to make a bank account or the cash account. Remains the same. So here on your credit side you take down your loan. Okay, so by Kavya's loan, it's already given in the question, that's 40,000. Next is by realization account. By realization account, liabilities paid. Liabilities paid. So here if you see your liabilities paid, okay, your creditors bills payable, you have subtracted 10% because of the adjustments. So your liability is 70,200. Okay, that comes here 70,200. Next is by realization expenses, that is they've given it in the adjustments, that is rupees 8,000. Next you take down the capital accounts by Kavya's capital, by Kavita's capital, and by Karishma's capital. Okay, you take down these values, the balancing figures: 73,300, 28,867, 19,633. So you need to make sure that your bank account always tallies, your debit side equals your credit side. So on your credit side, it's going to be your expenses, your loans, your liabilities paid, and all of that. On your debit side, it's going to be your assets. Okay, your assets, or the balance brought down, and all of that. So you need to always make sure that your debit side is always your assets and your credit side is always your liabilities, your losses, your expenses, and all of that. So on your debit side, you write to balance brought down. Okay, because as given in the balance sheet, cash in bank, so we are preparing a bank account, so it's 30,000 over here. Okay, so to balance brought down is 30,000. Okay, then you write your assets realized to realization account, your assets realized. Let's see how much is our assets realized. Mama, let's see, it's 2,10,000. So you remember the adjustments that we took in the question, they have clearly given the adjustment entries. So you see stock 44, debtors 80, machinery 66, bills receivable, and all of that. Okay, so all those are your assets. Okay, we have recorded in the realization account. So you have a total of 2,10,000. So you take that down, 2,10,000. So that's it, you've recorded all your entries. So let's see if the debit side matches the credit. So here it's going to be 2,40,000. Let's just see with this. If it's not, we will just cross check. Okay, 40,000 plus 70,200 plus 8,000 plus 73,300 plus 28,867 plus 19,633. Okay, so it tallied. Okay, so if your bank account tallies, your sum is right. Okay, 2,40,000. Suppose if it doesn't get tallied for your examination, just go through your accounts once. Just check the realization account, check if you've alternated the entries and all of that. Make sure that you in the realization account, in the first step, you omit your partner's loan, your reserve fund, your PNL, your cash in bank, cash in hand. You omit all those. Second step, you consider the adjustments and all of that. Okay, third step, you find out the profit or the loss transferred for the realization account. Partner's capital, always on your credit side. First, it's going to be by balance brought down, by reserve, by PNL, by realization account. The PNL depends. If it's on the debit, it comes to the credit. If it's on the credit, it comes to the debit. Okay, then here on your debit, we have taken the realization account and your balancing figure. I hope I'm clear with how you're supposed to find the balancing figure. Then bank account, on your credit side, it's always your liabilities, your expenses, your losses, and on your debit, it's always your assets, or cash in bank, cash in hand. So we are done with the 12 markers of this chapter. It's mostly going to be a simple question. I don't think it'll be tough. Touch wood, I guess. So if you have any doubts, please go down the comment box and write down your comments and your queries, your doubts on anything, and I hope that I'll be able to clear them. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.